Ohio, USA. October 2018. I woke up because of a sound. Not loud. Not sudden. Just wrong. At first, I thought it was coming from outside. Wind. Pipes. Something in the walls. Something normal. Something I didn't need to think about. I stayed still for a few seconds. Listening. Trying to place it. And then I heard it again. Closer this time. Right next to me. Low. Slow. Breathing. My eyes opened fully. I didn't move. Didn't even turn my head. Because I knew exactly where it was coming from. Under the bed. The space below me felt different. Like it wasn't empty anymore. Like something was there. Close enough to touch the mattress from underneath. I swallowed slowly. Telling myself it wasn't real. That I was still half asleep. That my brain was filling in sounds that weren't there. But then, it inhaled again. Long. Deep. Right beneath me. My chest tightened. Because that wasn't imagination. That wasn't random noise. That was breathing. Slow. Controlled. And too steady to be anything normal. I shifted my eyes slightly. Not moving my head. Just enough to look toward the edge of the bed. Darkness. Nothing visible. But that didn't help. Because I could still hear it. Right below me. Waiting. Listening. Matching my breathing. And then. It stopped. Completely. No inhale. No exhale. Nothing. The silence that followed felt worse than the sound. Because now, it knew I was awake. And I knew. It was listening to me. Right under the bed. Not moving. Not leaving. Just there. Waiting for me to do something first. I didn't move. Not even a little. My body stayed completely still, like if I shifted even slightly it would react. The silence under the bed stretched longer than it should have. Too long. Long enough for my ears to start searching for the sound again. And then. It came back. A slow inhale. Deeper this time. Closer. Like whatever was under there had adjusted its position. My chest tightened instantly. Because that wasn't just breathing anymore. It was controlled. Measured. Deliberate. I forced myself to breathe through my nose. Quiet. Shallow. Trying not to give it anything to follow. But that didn't matter. A second later. It matched me. Same rhythm. Same pace. Like it was syncing with me. My fingers twitched slightly against the mattress. That tiny movement was enough. The breathing stopped again. Immediately. My stomach dropped. Because now I understood the pattern. It wasn't just there. It was reacting. Listening. Learning. Waiting. I slowly moved my hand across the bed. Careful. Dragging it just enough to reach the edge. My fingertips hovered over the side. I hesitated. Because once I did this, there was no pretending anymore. Slowly. I lowered my hand. Just a few inches. The air under the bed felt colder. Not by much. But enough to notice. Enough to feel wrong. I stopped. My fingers hanging in the dark. Waiting. Nothing touched me. Nothing grabbed me. Nothing moved. But then, right below my hand, it exhaled. Warm. Direct. Close enough that I felt it against my skin. I pulled my hand back instantly. Too fast. The mattress shifted under me. The sound was louder than I expected. And for the first time, something under the bed moved. Not crawling. Not shifting like a person. Just repositioning. Too smooth. Too quiet. Too controlled. My heart started pounding harder. Because now, it wasn't directly beneath me anymore. It was closer to the edge. Closer to where my hand had been. Don't. The voice came from under the bed. Low. Distorted. Not fully formed. My blood ran cold. Because that wasn't breathing anymore. That was speech. I froze. Every muscle locked again. Don't, it repeated. Clearer this time. Closer to human. But still wrong. Like the shape of the word was correct. But something inside it wasn't. I stared at the edge of the bed. The darkness underneath felt heavier now. Like it had depth. Like it wasn't just space anymore. Stay up there. My throat tightened. That was new. Not repeated. Not copied. New. I swallowed slowly. Trying to think. Trying to understand. If it could talk, then it could think. And if it could think, then it knew exactly where I was. And exactly what I was about to do. The floor under the bed creaked slightly. Not from my movement. From something shifting its weight. Preparing. Waiting. I slowly sat up. The mattress sank behind me. The sound stretched across the room. And instantly, the breathing changed again. Faster now. Less controlled. Like it was reacting to me being upright. Don't look. The voice came again. Sharper. Closer. Right below the edge. My chest tightened. Because that told me everything I needed to know. If it didn't want me to look, then that's exactly what it was afraid of. And for the first time since I woke up, I realized something important. Whatever was under my bed didn't want to be seen. I stayed sitting up for a few seconds. Not moving. Just listening. The space under the bed felt closer now. Like the distance between me and it had shrunk. Even though nothing had physically changed. Don't look, it repeated. Quieter this time. But more certain. My grip tightened on the mattress. Because that wasn't a warning. That was control. It didn't want me to see it. Which meant there was something to see. I shifted my legs slowly toward the edge of the bed. Careful. Deliberate. The fabric dragged softly under me. That small sound triggered it. The breathing under the bed changed instantly. Faster. Less controlled. Like it was losing rhythm. Stay, it said. The word came out uneven. Not as clean as before. My heart started pounding harder. Because now it sounded different. Not calm. Not patient. Nervous. That gave me something. A small advantage. If it didn't want me to look, then it needed me not to. I leaned forward slightly. Just enough for my weight to shift. The bed creaked again. The sound echoed louder in the quiet room. Underneath. Something moved. Closer to the edge. Closer to me. I stopped. Holding my position. Listening. The breathing was right there now. Directly below the edge of the mattress. Not hidden. Not distant. Right there. Don't, it said again. But this time, It sounded like it was closer to the surface. Like it had moved up. My throat tightened. Because that meant it wasn't just under the bed anymore. It was near the opening. Waiting. I slowly leaned a little further. My head tilting down. Just enough to change my angle. The darkness below remained solid. Flat. Empty. But the sound was right there. Please don't. The word please hit different. It wasn't copied. It wasn't mechanical. It sounded almost real. Almost human. That hesitation. That small shift. Made something inside me react. Not fear. Something else. Recognition. But I pushed it down immediately. Because nothing about this was normal. Nothing about this was safe. I leaned further. Slow. Controlled. The edge of the mattress pressing against my chest. My eyes adjusting to the darkness below. Shape starting to form. Not clear. Not yet. But something was there. And then it inhaled again. Sharp. Too fast. Too close. Right below my face. I froze. Because I could feel it now. The air shifting upward. Touching my skin. Don't. The voice broke. Distorted. No longer stable. No longer controlled. I leaned just a little more. Just enough to see. And that's when I noticed something impossible. There wasn't enough space under the bed for anything to be there. Not for something that size. Not for something that close. The gap was too small. Too low. Too narrow. And yet, something was filling it. Pressing against it. Stretching into it. My chest tightened. Because whatever it was, it didn't fit. And it didn't care. The darkness shifted. Subtly. But enough. Like something inside it had moved. Not crawling. Not adjusting. Just becoming visible. My breath caught. Because I could finally see the outline. Not clearly. Not fully. But enough to understand one thing. It was facing me. Perfectly still. Perfectly aware. And waiting. For me to look just a little closer. I didn't move away. Not anymore. Because I was already too close. My face just above the edge of the mattress. My eyes fixed on the darkness below. Trying to make sense of something that didn't fit. The shape under the bed was clearer now. Not detailed. Not fully visible. But present. Like my eyes had finally adjusted enough to accept it. It was facing me. I knew that. Even though I couldn't see a face. Even though there were no clear features. It was looking straight at me. And it wasn't moving. Don't, it whispered. Barely a sound now. Almost gone. Like it knew it was losing control. My breathing slowed. Not from calm. From focus. Because something felt off. Not just wrong. Impossible. I leaned just a fraction closer. That tiny movement changed everything. The space under the bed shifted. Not physically. Not like something moved. But like the depth changed. For a second. It looked deeper. Longer. Like the floor wasn't where it should be anymore. My chest tightened. Because I knew the size of that space. I had seen it before. Nothing like this could fit there. Nothing like this should even exist there. Stop. The word came out suddenly. Sharp. Not broken anymore. Clear. Too clear. I froze. Because that wasn't the same voice. That was closer to mine. Closer than before. The shape under the bed adjusted. Just slightly. And for the first time, I saw movement that made sense. It leaned forward. Slow. Controlled. Like it was coming closer to me. Without actually moving through space. The darkness around it warped. Like it didn't follow the same depth as everything else. My breath caught. Because now, I could almost see a face. Not fully. Not clearly. But something was there. Where a face should be. Flat. Incomplete. Trying to form. Don't look at me. The voice said it perfectly this time. No distortion. No delay. My blood ran cold. Because that wasn't a copy. That was understanding. I didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. And slowly, very slowly, something else became clear. The position of it was wrong. Not just the size. Not just the shape. The angle. It wasn't lying under the bed. It wasn't pressed to the floor. It was angled upward. Like it was standing. Inside the space. Where there wasn't enough room to stand. My stomach dropped. Because that meant it wasn't using the space the way it should. It wasn't following the rules. The shape leaned closer again. And now, I saw it. For a split second. A surface. Where a face should be. Smooth. Too smooth. Like something unfinished. And then, it shifted. Fast. Too fast. The darkness snapped back. The space under the bed looked normal again. Flat. Empty. Nothing there. My heart slammed hard in my chest. Because I knew. I hadn't imagined that. See? The voice said softly. My throat tightened. That word was calm again. Almost reassuring. Nothing there. The tone changed. Gentler. More human. My chest tightened. Because that was worse. Much worse. Because now, it wasn't trying to stop me. It was trying to convince me. And that meant it had already decided something. About me. I didn't pull back. Not yet. My eye stayed on the space under the bed. Flat. Empty. Exactly how it should be. But that didn't help. Because I had seen it. I knew I had. Nothing there, it said again. Soft. Calm. Almost convincing. My breathing slowed slightly. Not because I believed it. But because something in me wanted to. That was the problem. The more normal it sounded, the easier it was to doubt myself. I blinked. Looked again. Still nothing. Just darkness. Just floor. Just empty space. My chest tightened. Because that didn't match what I felt. The presence was still there. Not visible. But close. Too close. You're tired, the voice continued. Gentle now. Measured. Like it was guiding me. Go back to sleep. My fingers tightened against the mattress. Because that felt wrong. Not the words. The intention behind them. It didn't want me to look. It didn't want me to think. It wanted me to stop. I slowly pushed myself back. Just a little. creating distance between my face and the edge. The air changed immediately. Subtle. But real. Like something had lost reach. "That's better," it said. My blood ran cold. Because that confirmed it. Distance mattered. Not sight. Not light. Distance. I leaned forward again. Just slightly. Testing. The response was instant. The breathing returned. Sharp. Close. Right below me. My heart started pounding. Because now I had proof. It wasn't gone. It was just hiding. Matching what I expected to see. "Don't do that," it said. The calm was gone. Replaced with something tighter. Controlled. But strained. I leaned a little closer. The darkness shifted again. Not visually. But in feeling. Heavier. Deeper. Wrong. The breathing grew louder. Faster. Like it was reacting to proximity. Stop. The word came out sharper. Closer. My chest tightened. Because I could feel it now. Right beneath the edge. Not far. Not hidden. Right there. Waiting. I held my position. Didn't move. Didn't pull back. And slowly. Something changed again. The darkness didn't stay flat. It deepened. Just slightly. Like the floor dropped. Like the space opened. My breath caught. Because that shouldn't be possible. "Don't look," it whispered. Quiet again. Almost pleading. That shift. That hesitation. Told me everything. It was losing control again. I leaned just a little more. And this time, I didn't blink. Didn't hesitate. I forced my eyes to adjust. To focus. To see. And slowly. Very slowly. The shape came back. Not hiding anymore. Not pretending. There. Pressed into the space. Facing me. Closer than before. Too close. The surface where a face should be. Was clearer now. Still smooth. Still wrong. But forming. Trying. Adapting. My stomach dropped. Because it wasn't just watching me anymore. It was learning how to look like something I could understand. Almost, it whispered. My blood ran cold. That word wasn't for me. It was for itself. I didn't move. Not this time. My eye stayed locked on it. Because now, it wasn't hiding anymore. It was there. Clear enough to understand. Close enough to feel. The space under the bed wasn't flat anymore. It wasn't shallow. It wasn't what it should be. It had depth. Too much depth. Like it went further than the floor. Further than the room. Further than it should be able to. The shape pressed forward slightly. Not crawling. Not moving like anything real. Just getting closer. Without crossing space. My chest tightened. Because now, I could see where its face should be. Almost formed. Almost human. Almost right. Don't, it whispered. But the word didn't land the same anymore. It didn't feel like control. It felt like delay. Like it needed time. Just a little more. My breathing slowed. Deliberate. Controlled. Because I understood something now. It wasn't afraid of me. It was afraid of being seen too clearly. I leaned closer. Just enough to force it. To make it finish. The darkness reacted instantly. The space stretched again. Deeper. Wider. Impossible. And the face finally formed. For a split second. It looked human. Almost perfect. Almost real. And then it wasn't. The surface broke. Shifted. Too smooth. Too wide. Features sliding into place that didn't belong together. Eyes that weren't set right. A mouth that didn't follow shape. Everything slightly off. Everything wrong. My stomach dropped. Because it had tried. And failed. And now. It knew I could see that. No, it said. But the word collapsed halfway through. Distorted. Unstable. The illusion was gone. I pulled back. Fast this time. The distance broke something. The space under the bed snapped back. Flat. Shallow. Empty. But I could still feel it. Still there. Still close. Just not visible anymore. I sat up fully. Breathing harder now. Heart pounding. But clear. Present. Still myself. I didn't look down again. Didn't check. Didn't need to. Because I already knew. It hadn't left. It had just adjusted. I got off the bed slowly. Keeping my eyes forward. Not letting myself look down. Not giving it another chance. I stepped away. Toward the door. Opened it. Left the room. And didn't go back that night. Morning came like nothing had happened. The room looked normal. The space under the bed. Empty. Exactly as it should be. But I never checked again. Not directly. Not properly. Because sometimes. Late at night. When I'm lying still. I hear it again. Very quiet. Very close. Right under me. Breathing. Slow. Controlled. Waiting. And every time. Right before I fall asleep. It stops. Like it knows. I'm about to stop looking.